December 23rd, 2014, from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California. It was the Poinsettia Bowl between the Navy Midshipmen and the San Diego State Aztecs. So San Diego State would take over on their 36 to begin this game for the first play from scrimmage after the kickoff. And on first down, Donnel Pumphrey ran 12 yards for the first down to the 48. And then on 3rd and 4 from the 46, Quinn Kaler hit Larry Clark for a 10-yard reception to make it a first down on the Navy 36. But then on 3rd and 10 from the 36, Quinn Kaler dropped back to pass and he hit Daniel Gonzalez, which was on the other team. So it was an interception for the Midshipmen, and they would now take over in San Diego State at the 42 with 12 minutes left in the first. Then they were faced with a 4th and 3 from the San Diego State 35. They elected to go for it, and Geoffrey Whiteside picked up 10 yards in the first down on the San Diego State 25. They were then faced with a 3rd and 3 from the San Diego State 18, and Williams-Jenkins picked up 14 yards on the ground in the first down that made it 1st and goal on the 4. Noah Copeland then picked up 3 yards, and then after a run for no gain, it was 3rd and goal on the 1, and Keenan Reynolds punched it in from a yard out for the first points in this game, as it was now Navy 7, San Diego State 0. So now the Aztecs would get the ball on the Navy 39 after a 57-yard return on the kickoff by Rashad Penny. Then on 2nd and 6 from the Navy 35, Donnel Pumphrey ran for 12 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the Navy 11 after a face mask penalty was tacked on against the defense. Then on 3rd and 4 from the 5, Donnel Pumphrey ran it in himself 5 yards for the touchdown that tied this game up at 7 apiece between Navy and San Diego State. So now after the kickoff, the Midshipmen would take over on their own 31 with about 5.5 left in the first. They were then faced with the 2nd and 4 from the 37, and Keenan Reynolds fumbled the ball, and it was recovered by Cody Galea for San Diego State. So now the Aztecs would take over on the Navy 29 to begin this possession. They weren't able to get a first down, and out would come Donny Hageman to attempt a 43-yard field goal. It was up, and it was good, as the Aztecs took the lead for the first time in this game, up by 3 with the score San Diego State 10, Navy 7. So now the Midshipmen would get the ball on their own 25 after the kickoff with less than 3 minutes left in the first quarter. They were faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 32, and Williams-Jenkins picked up 5 in the first down at the 37. Then on 2nd and 5 from the 42, DeBrandon Sanders picked up 5 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 47 as the first quarter came to a close. So after 1 quarter of play, the score was San Diego State 10, Navy 7. So now to begin the second quarter, the Midshipmen had the ball on their own 47. It was first down. Noah Copeland ran for 4 yards, and then Keenan Reynolds picked up 2, and now on 3rd and 4, Keenan Reynolds passed to Whiteside for a 2-yard completion that brought up 4th and 2 from the 45. They elected to go for it, and Swain picked up 3 in the first down that brought the ball to the San Diego 42 for the Midshipmen. But then on 2nd and 10, Keenan Reynolds was sacked by Derek Largent, and on 3rd and 12, Keenan Reynolds was sacked by Sergio Phillips. So out would come the punting unit to punt from the 48 of San Diego State, as the Aztecs would now take over after the punt on their own 12-yard line with about 11.5 minutes left before halftime. Then on 2nd and 1 from the 21, Quinn Kaler hit Larry Clark for a 24-yard reception and a first down at the San Diego State 45. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 47, Chase Pierce picked up 19 in the first down in Navy territory at the 34. They're then faced with a 2nd and 13 from the 37, and Quinn Kaler hit Chase Favreau for a 13-yard reception and a first down on the 24. They weren't able to pick up another first down, and out would come Donny Hageman to attempt a 37-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, as the Aztecs extended their lead to 6 with the score San Diego State 13, Navy 7. So now the Midshipmen would take over with about 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter. They had the ball on their own 35 to begin the possession after the kickoff, and after 6 plays, they ended up punting from their own 48. So now the Aztecs would take over on their own 14 with about 3.5 minutes left before halftime. And they would get the ball near midfield, but on 4th and 5 from the 41, a delay of game would bring them back to the 36, and they would punt as the first half came to a close. So at halftime in the Poinsettia Bowl, the score was San Diego State 13, Navy 7. So now to begin the second half, the Midshipmen would get the ball first. They had it on their own 8-yard line after the kickoff, backed up against their own end zone. On 2nd and 7 from the 11, Keenan Reynolds ran for 8 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 19. They were then faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 26, and Noah Copeland picked up 6 in the first down at the 32. Then on 2nd and 14 from the 28, Chris Swain ran for 24 yards in the first down as he brought the ball across midfield and into San Diego State territory for the first down on the 48. Then on 3rd and 5 from the 43, Noah Copeland picked up 15 yards in the first down at the San Diego State 28 for the Midshipmen. Then on 2nd and 7 from the 25, Chris Swain picked up 19, and that made it 1st and goal on the 6, and Keenan Reynolds ran it into the end zone for the 6-yard touchdown that gave Navy the lead by 1 with the score Navy 14, San Diego State 13. So now after the kickoff, San Diego State would take over on their own 43 after a 33-yard return by Mathis. Then on 1st down, Pumphrey ran for 10 yards and brought the ball across midfield to the Navy 47, but they wouldn't get another 1st down, and out would come the punting unit to punt from the 43. And on the punt, Navy fumbled the ball, and it was recovered by Devontae Davis of the Aztecs, and so San Diego State would now start this possession on the Navy 18 in the red zone, but they wouldn't get a 1st down, and out would come Donny Hageman to attempt a 30-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Aztecs were back in the lead, up by 2 with the score San Diego State 16, Navy 14. So now after the kickoff, Navy would take over on their own 15 with about 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, but they would go 3 and out on this possession and punt from their own 18. So now the Aztecs would take over on their own 28 with about 2 minutes left in the 3rd. Then on 2nd and 5 from the 33, Chase Pierce picked up 7 and a 1st down at the 40. They were then faced with a 3rd and 6 from the 44, and a 5-yard pass, but there ended up being penalties. A holding penalty against San Diego State would bring them back 10 yards, and the 3rd quarter would come to close on that penalty. And after 3 quarters of play, the score was San Diego State 16, Navy 14. So now to begin the 4th quarter, the Aztecs had the ball on their own 34, was 3rd and 16 after that penalty. They weren't able to get the 1st down, and now would come the punting unit to punt from the 34. So now Navy would take over with about 15 seconds ticked off the clock in the 4th, and the ball on their own 35 after the punt. And on 2nd and 4 from the 41, Williams-Jenkins fumbled the ball. It was recovered by Christian Hayward, and now the Aztecs had it in Navy territory on the 41 with about 14 minutes left in the 4th. Then on 3rd and 11 from the 42, Quinn Kaler dropped back, and he was intercepted by George Jameson, and now this Midshipmen would take back over on their own 44 after the turnover with a little over 13 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Then on 3rd and 5 from the Navy 49, Noah Copeland picked up 7 in the 1st down at the San Diego State 44. But then on 1st down, Keenan Reynolds fumbled the ball. It was recovered by Derek Largent, and now the Aztecs would take over on their own 48 after the fumble with less than 12 minutes left to play in the 4th, up by 2. And on 1st down, Quinn Kaler hit Larry Clark for an 11-yard reception, a 1st down at the Navy 41. Then Chase Pierce picked up 24 yards on the 1st down in the red zone on the Navy 17 for the Aztecs. But then on 2nd and 8, a holding penalty would move them from the 15 back to the 24. And they would end up being faced with a 4th and 5 from the 12, and an incomplete pass would turn the ball over on downs as the Midshipmen would end up taking over on their own 13 with less than 9 minutes left to play, down by 2, but they would go 3 and out on this possession and punt from their own 22. So now San Diego State would take over on their own 35 with about 6.5 on the clock in the 4th quarter. And on 1st down, Donnel Pumphrey ran for 14 yards in the 1st down that brought the ball to the San Diego State 49, but then he fumbled the ball on the next play, and Navy recovered as they would now take over with less than 6 minutes left to play in the ball on their own 47 after the fumble. Then on 3rd and 6, they picked up 5 with the run by Whiteside, and now on 4th and 1 from the San Diego State 44, they elected to go for it, and Chris Swain picked up 13 yards in the 1st down that brought the ball to the San Diego State 31. There was a face mask penalty against Navy, and so that moved it back to the 46 after the first down. So it's 1st and 10 now on the 46. Swain picked up another 5 yards, 2nd and 5 from the 41, and Ryan Williams-Jenkins picked up 28 yards in the first down in the red zone for the Midshipmen on the San Diego State 13. Copeland then picked up 6, and that brought up 2nd and 4, but a loss of 2 from Reynolds would make it 3rd and 6 from the 9. Swain picked up 3. San Diego State took their, I believe, this last time out, but now on 4th and 3 from the 6, they had to go for the field goal with less than 2 minutes left to play in this game, and Austin Grebe would come out to attempt a 24-yarder. It was up and it was good, and Navy took the lead up by 1 with the score Navy 17, San Diego State 16. So now after the kickoff, the Aztecs would take over on their own 20-yard line, down by 1 with just a minute and a half left to play here in the 4th. And on first down, Quinn Kaler hit Donnel Pumphrey for an 11-yard pass and a first down at the 31. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 31, Quinn Kaler hit Eric Judge for a 32-yard reception that brought the ball across midfield and all the way to the Navy 37 for the first down. Kaler then hit Pumphrey for a 16-yard reception, a first down at the Navy 21. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 20, Kaler hit Pumphrey for a 3-yard reception. That brought 3rd and 6, but an incomplete pass would make it 4th and 6 from the 17. And out would come Donny Hageman to attempt the game-winning field goal from 34 yards out. It was up and it was no good. He missed the game winner, and the score remained Navy 17, San Diego State 16. And with no timeouts left for the Aztecs, all that was left to do for the Midshipmen was to take a knee in the victory formation as this game came to a close with the final score Navy 17, San Diego State 16, as the Midshipmen come from behind to win this game and then hold on after the late field goal with less than 2 minutes left. So the Navy wins the Poinsettia Bowl, and they're now 8-5 on the season. San Diego State 7-6. And in this game for the Midshipmen, Keenan Reynolds was 3 for 7 with 17 yards passing. Not a passing game, not a passing team, the Midshipmen. They're a running team. They had 254 total rushing yards. And Chris Swain was their leading rusher. He had 8 carries for 72 yards. Ryan Williams-Jenkins had 8 carries for 67 yards. Noah Copeland had 12 carries for 63 yards. DeBrandon Sanders had 4 carries for 24 yards. Geoffrey Whiteside had 6 carries for 20 yards. And Keenan Reynolds had 19 carries for just 9 yards, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns. And for San Diego State, Quinn Kaler was 11 for 27 with 147 passing yards and 141 passing yards and 2 interceptions. He also had 1 carry for 5 yards. And the leading rusher in the game was Donnel Pumphrey. He had 21 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown for the Aztecs. He also had 4 receptions for 42 yards receiving. And the leading receiver in the game was Larry Clark of the Aztecs. He had 3 receptions for 45 yards. And the leading receiver for Navy was Brandon Dudeck with 2 receptions for 15 yards. And Navy came up with 2 big interceptions in this game. Daniel Gonzalez and George Jameson each getting picks. And the Midshipmen win a nail-biter. The final score, Navy 17, San Diego 16 in the Poinsettia Bowl.